Labour has just come into power, and finally the new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has said that he's going to help working people. But is that entirely true? In this video, I'm going to completely debunk what he's saying. Before I get into this one, my name is Sean Land and I'm a property expert. I look at how to help you guys with the current financial changes and how they can affect you going forward. So to help the channel out, make sure you smash the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and make sure you share this with somebody else who it may potentially help. So first of all, the freeze on tax thresholds are going to be staying the same. How does that affect you? Well, currently when you earn a certain amount, for say 12,300, it's all tax-free. The next amount up until just over 50,000, you get taxed at 20%. And above that, you get into the 40% tax threshold. Now you're probably thinking that doesn't affect me. But what has currently been happening? Well, inflation. What does inflation mean? It means the cost of products and services are going up. So what do you need more of? Money. So who pays you? Your job. You go to your job and they say, hey, we're going to increase your pay by 10%. You may think, hey, I have more money in my pocket. That 10% actually may be more detrimental because you're getting paid more and all of a sudden you cross over into a new tax threshold. So is that really helping you if they freeze the thresholds? No, because they should also be moving these in line with inflation as well. And if they're not, then do they have your best interest at heart? No, a lot of people, like the working class as they say, may be paying more tax. But making a profit and gaining a lot more from your investment, you could actually be losing a lot more money. Why is that? Well, currently a basic rate taxpayer gets taxed 10 to 14% on any gain that they make after £3,000, and a high rate taxpayer pays between 20 to 24%. Now, the government's saying that's not fair. Imagine you're in the 40% tax bracket because you're earning a lot of money. They now want to increase that exactly for any investments that you make a gain on. Say your name's Tom and you walk in and you buy some shares and all of a sudden you made £10,000 profit on. Instead of paying 20% tax on that, you may now pay 40% tax because you're a higher rate taxpayer. That means nearly double the amount of tax that you're going to pay. So have you ever heard of that Robin Hood theory of, steal from the rich to feed the poor? This is a perfect example, even though you may not making that much of a gain. As a landlord, this is going to affect you massively, especially if you're in the flipping game. If you're buying properties, doing them up to sell them for a profit, you're now not going to pay 20%. You could potentially pay 40%, especially if you're going to be in the higher rate tax bracket and you're earning over £50,000. You think this is a brilliant game? Well, it's getting harder and harder for us guys. I have 3 words for you. IHT. What does it stand for? Inheritance tax. And do you know what? It affects all of us. Our parents work their whole life endlessly, entirely for what? The next generation. They want to build some wealth to pass it on to you so you can see better days and not the days that they've seen. But the tax man is getting involved once again. He's coming in and saying the amount that parents can pass on to their children is less. How did they do that? Well, they put an inheritance tax. That's something that's getting in between you and your parents, like a wedge. Think of it like this. Imagine your parents pass you on their home and it's worth £1 million. That sounds pretty good, right? I mean, not the part that they're leaving you or they've passed away, but the part that they've left their wealth to you. The tax man then comes along with his briefcase and says, I'm going to tax you 40% of that. That means you've got a new tax bill all of a sudden, £400,000. What are you going to end up doing with this house? Are you going to be able to afford that tax bill and refinance this asset? Your salary might not even be enough. So you might need to sell this house just to pay the tax bill. And not only that, they're also thinking of CGT. That's capital gains tax. If your parents have made a gain on this property, they want to again pass you a tax bill. So after this £1 million that you think you will inherit, you hardly got nothing. What is the UK doing currently? Is it being built for families and entrepreneurship, or do they just want you to be like sheep like everybody else? So you're working and you're working for your pension. Not everybody invests into property or investments. All looks risky, right? So we put it into our pension pot. And for some of us, we do it through work, but we've been told by a financial advisor it'd be clever to put into another private pension. So what? After we retire, we can put our legs up, we can go on holiday, and we can get a tax-free amount. You're wrong. They're not going to do that anymore. They may be getting involved into that side of things as well. The government are actually saying that they want some of that. You can't take all of the money out from your pension pot. What are they trying to do? They're trying to restrict the amount that you can spend. And if you do go over that, what's going to be ready? Another tax bill. We're getting taxed left, right, and center, so we have to be more innovative on where we put our money and in which pots. So, putting money into a pension pot may be totally obsolete now. You might not want to do that. You might want to put stuff into a property, because not only do you get a residual passive income, it's a completely different tax bracket. It's not affected by any of these pension rules, and the property may go up in value. So putting your money into things like crypto, into property, you got completely different tax brackets. You got completely different set of rules, rather than put in something that the government has even more control over. And you'll be happy to know that this is exactly what I teach. If you want to learn more about property, I run a Discord channel. Yes, it sounds like a different language, but it's just a link in the bio, and it's just a platform where I just go live and we can have a more in-depth conversation without Zoom, Meet, and all of these other things that have caps and limit times to speak on. This next point really rubs me up the wrong way. Why? Because I went to a normal state school and I got bullied as hell. I've got all of the marks to prove it. And the number one thing that I wanted to do is get into a different space where I would be looked after. So for my next generation, I want to put them into private school. The government's coming after us too on this one. Where you want to put them in safe spaces, smaller classrooms, so they can learn a little bit more. And here's the thing, we're making things lighter in the normal state schools. They want to penalize you for that. They want to charge you 20% VAT on this. Don't ask me why, purely just for their own pockets. Surely everybody deserves a good education, and that money gets put to good use. We've heard of ISAs, individual savings accounts, and they're supposed to be really good, where you can store some of your wealth, money from your salary, wages, and you can put it aside and you're not going to be taxed on any of that interest. Brilliant pot to build up, right? They now want to limit the amount you can put into these pots. Think of it, since 1986, since these have been around, some people have been putting 5, 10, 15, 20,000, and some people have built up to £1 million. So later on, they can invest this and get a tax-free amount in terms of interest. They're now saying they're going to limit the amount you can put in one of these pots, which is going to hinder the amount you can save. So will that be attractive for you now to save money? Probably not. What's the real agenda here? Do they not want you to save money? Do they just want it to spend in the economy, into businesses, so businesses make profit, and then who taxes them? The government? Can you see what's going on? I want to know what you think as well, so leave me a comment with that one, guys. So if you're not saving as much, you're going to be spending more. What does that do? That creates more employment, because more people get hired for jobs. So now you can see where your money's flowing. It's going into businesses, and the businesses are paying for employees who then pay taxes. The businesses are also paying their taxes. So where's all the money flow going into? Is it really the landlord? Is it really the top corporations? Or is it just the government who are just trying to rule, conquer, and making sure that you can't make your own decisions? So it looks like they don't want you to go out. They want you to stay at home. They don't want you to invest. They want you to spend money on Netflix and just chill at home and then not think too much. And then also they're fully in control of you and your life, and you're following just like sheep, just what everyone else is doing. And that's why I've got a Discord channel where I teach you all about property, real estate, how to get ahead and how to build some sort of wealth in correct structures, not just a PAYE structure, but also in SPVs, special purpose vehicles. Yes, it might sound like to do. I like to conversate with people about how to control their money, how to manage it better, how to invest it correctly, and how to avoid some of these tax hikes without doing it illegally. We want to do things properly. So in the link below is my Discord channel. We do weekly lives. I bring on special guests, special experts in every single industry to help us get ahead. So I hope these videos are really helping you. And if they are, please do share this with some family or friends, because together we can be stronger. And don't forget to smash the like button and leave me a comment. So until next time, I'll see you. Peace.